Kid did all that in the second half, huh?
These three guys.
Yeah. Yeah, he played at Augusta State.
All right, we are back. Mitch Evans, PJ Mays, and now joined by Lakers basketball coach Jimmy Link after a 101-76 win over Allen University. Hey, look, PJ and I talked about it before the game started. Can't fall behind early and play from behind. You guys jumped out early and made them play catch up. They did briefly, and then you guys flew back out. Just talk about that.
I'm proud of our guys. I think they did what we said. We approached it. We went big. And I think that might be a good little lineup for us in spots, and maybe even we start with it consistently. I don't know,
I
but
was going to ask you whether or not you're going to go with Ty
well,
Lewis again to start.
yeah. I mean, he played well.
Yep.
He didn't. He was fine. They're a little banged up, him and Alfonso, so they kept asking to come out. But yeah, I liked it. I thought it wasn't bad. Especially, I was worried because they're small, and that defensively, how would we guard them? And they do get to the basket, and they can actually score. So, but I thought they did a pretty good job. When they were in, we went on a big run, and thought we got the crowd in it, and got it going. But then we made some subs, and I thought our guys off the bench came in lackadaisical, but they did. But then in the second half, I thought they did a really good job of kind of doing a better job out there on the
Kyle
floor.
Kinsey's,
Yeah, those guys.
the Kendall Josephs of the world. Kendall had a good game.
He had a great game.
Yeah.
I was happy.
So, Coach, touch on this for me. First half, you go with the three bigs. You have the advantage in the paint. That's a given. But they did a great job of speeding you guys up when they were down 17 to cut it to 3. And then they did a great job of running what I like to refer to as a 50 cut. 5 out, just off the bounce, cracking you to the basket, penetrating kick, penetrating drive. How will you make an adjustment, or how did you make the adjustment in this game? Because that was kind of an area of contention in terms of them spreading you out and taking you off the bounce with the bigs. How did you make that adjustment?
Well, maybe I'd have to go back and look at it, but I thought it was when we subbed when we were up like 17, and we made a couple subs, and then they started going after us and pressing us, and then they made that run, and then I subbed the starters back in, and I thought that we went back up. So I don't know. I mean, I think we got to sit down and guard, and it's hard when you got a team like them who do it, and give them credit. They do a good job of really attacking you.
Absolutely.
They beat a team in our league, and they and if you leave them open, they can shoot the ball, and so we just had to keep moving our feet, especially being bigger than them. A bunch of 6'2" guys. You got to sit down and guard. But being as big as we were, I was I was actually happy with the way we sat down and guard for the most part. Of course, there's lapses in here or there, but
Right.
I think we're only getting better, and we're trying to find our rotation and before we hit the conference. So
Right.
Right. A little while, a couple of weeks still until you get to that. Dantes Benjamin's playing at a very high level. And Nate Powell, your backcourt, you went big to start this game up front, played with two guards. Nate, this was the Nate Powell that we saw in the first couple of games when he was your leading scorer, as opposed to the guy who kind of disappeared the last few games.
yeah, I mean I don't know. He's my guy, and I'm always looking at him like, let's go. Like
Right, right.
and even the start of the game, I was like, what are you doing? He threw a couple of there, but then he was a dude, and that's what he can do. So you got to stick with him, and I thought he did a good job. Finished the stat line's pretty good. So
More importantly, he shot the ball well from the free throw line. He was 8 of 10, which that's what I was the most impressed with. But when you look at Dantes Benjamin, Dantes gives you 19 in the first half. His career high
Was
previous
19.
was 19. And
was
what
it?
I like was the fact that he put two halves together as opposed to second half late in the game. It's almost like he's taking desperation, cardiac kid type shots. He played two halves, which I thought that was great to see him do.
yeah, you guys might not know this, but when I was at Payne, I had a kid named Denzel Dillingham was National Player of the Year for all HBCUs, and he was Conference Player of the Year in the SIAC, and he's about 6'3", 6'4", And I told him before the season we're going to need him to kind of be that, and he's heard me talk about him. And he has done that. He really has been kind of a Denzel for us on that team. And, I think and I've kind of gave him the green light, like right off the half. Second half, he pulls a three.
Yep.
But usually I like a guy go to the basket. Not him. He can do his thing, and he hit it. And
he hit his first four, I think.
Yeah. I mean, he's got a lot of confidence, and he's starting to figure it out. And last year it's unfortunate because he came off shoulder surgery. He didn't have a spring or summer to work out. When he showed up here in August this year, he was put together. He wasn't missing. And then I thought after the first weekend, we played Anderson and Queens. After that weekend, he's really hit a lot of shots.
Right.
So.
No, he's been shooting it great and scoring points. Something that PJ and I talked about in regards to Alphonso Davis, who had 11 rebounds, only 4 points. I mean, look, he was almost a walking double-double last year. And in the discussion that PJ and I have had throughout the game, I guess you have to understand with Jemani Bird now in the mix and a Ty Lewis in the mix, you're asking him to come outside. You've told me how good of a three-point shooter that he is. As far as mentally, with the stats not being there for Fonz, care, not care?
For me or him?
Him.
Yeah, he's not really into that, believe it or not. I mean, really, he doesn't even ask what he had or even look it up. He doesn't even know. He's just that kind of guy. When he'll he knows if he's putting it in the hole or not. You know what I mean? But he was passing the ball on some things that he could have went and scored on, and he probably went and scored on last year. He was dropping it off, and he's a pretty unselfish player. His family's in New York, so they're probably wanting him to score. Probably watching this saying he needs to score more. But
right.
So are we.
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
Right,
and he will. You got to remember, he didn't get going until January 4th.
To the conference.
And,
okay.
And, he didn't even play in the first couple of games. He was injured and he didn't get it going. And once we played Montevallo January 4th, he took off. And I don't know. I hope that's the case again. But I hope he can get going the next game. But I mean, points for him. And I think him rebounding and blocking shots and making guys. People are collapsing. I mean, every time he touches, there's 2 or 3 guys around him. That's what happens when you're a guy, though.
Yeah, and somebody else is wide open.
Yep.
Yeah. Fonz is a mixed bag of goods. He's going to give you a little bit of everything. My only bone of contention tonight was there were a few times I thought where he sealed and released, and he allowed himself to get stripped on that backside because he's tucking the ball below his waist. Outside of that, and of course those are things you'll correct and get those fixed. That was my only issue was giving the ball away in the paint. The 5-6 turnovers. Yeah. That's not Fonz.
They keep putting it down on the floor, and we talked about it at halftime. You just catch it and go up and score. You're 6'8", and they don't know what to do with you. You got to go. Don't put it down. And he's awesome. I mean, he's just great. He's a yes or no sir kid, and gets it done. And so I don't, him having. I actually like that he had some assists and rebounds, and the points will come for him. I'm not worried about that. I am happy to see some of these other guys play well in a game like that. With they were running a 1-2-1-1 3 half court.
Yep.
I don't even know if I've really seen that one, but it was interesting. But I mean, they're not bad. They do a good job.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No doubt about that. Nelson Jones has done a good job. Also in his second year, we talked about that, comparing a little bit. Your task in bringing in players that fit your style, and it certainly is working that way with Nelson Jones. All right, we'll leave you with this. You said next game, or once we get to the conference, but the next game's St. Leo's, and you got a little bit of a gap here. You got 8 days before you play.
Finals starts technically tomorrow, so from the 6th through the 12th, we can't do anything. And we can practice a little bit, but that's it. They're in final world, so we play on the 13th versus St. Leo. We beat them last year down there, and it's on the return here now. So it'll be a dogfight. It'll be a good one.
All right. Well, Jimmy, congratulations on a win, and it was good. Good game to call tonight. We thought we were going to have a real ball game in the first half when they came back, and then you guys you put the pedal to the metal. Yeah. So congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, there you go. Head coach Jimmy Link with us, closing things out again after a 101-76 win for Clayton State over Allen. Want to thank you for watching the Development Authority of Clayton County postgame report. Our next broadcast of Laker basketball will be next Tuesday night, December 13th at 5:30, a little bit of an earlier start time. Clayton State men's team playing host to St. Leo University here at the Lock, so please join us. I want to thank, as always, my partner PJ Mays, as well as Tori Sanders out there, and Ashley Cunningham and Tierra Johnson.
We had the crew tonight.
We did, for all of their assistance. I'm Mitch Evans signing off. Once again, the final score, Clayton State 101, Allen University 76. Good night, everybody.